Medical Dilemma.
Welcome back to Medical Dilemma. Before we start our discussions for the second segment, I'd like to say thank you to our major sponsors, St. Clair's Medical Center, Makati Medical Center, and LifeQuest Training and Consultancy Corporation. Now, joining me for the second segment are my co-host, Attorney Sarah Sugitan.
Hi, Sunny. Belated happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Yes. And Father Jerry Manlangit.
Hi, Sunny. A pleasure.
And Doctora Attorney Teresita Sanchez.
Hi.
Okay. Now, going back to the last point Dr. Gatchalian was making, okay, you were telling a story about the relationship between the man and the woman. Okay, and
with
maybe you could continue
with
with
the blessing
that.
of Father, the man, the man and the woman is supposed to have a long-lasting relationship, and I guess that should be the context by which we discuss this erectile dysfunction. Because part of the necessity of being married is that they must be able to satisfy their partner and perform sexually. Otherwise, correct me, Father, it's a ground for if they never fulfill
consummated.
consummated, then therefore it's a ground for separation or annulment of the marriage. So now, how well they perform will depend mainly this time on the male, because the woman need not show anything, nothing need to rise. She will just have to accept, and it is the man who must be able to show the goods so that they are going to have a successful intercourse.
But isn't that putting undue stress on the male?
In many cases, the man has always been the breadwinner and the one who has led the family, and this time he will have to really.
That's why he dies earlier.
That's why he dies early.
Hindi totoo yan. Sinasabi ni Dr. Ed that the man is under stress. As you said, you have to perform, and aside from that, you have to make sure that the female part of the wife is also satisfied, and also you have to ejaculate because.
Because believe it or not, if you do not satisfy the woman, sa society ngayon, Father, it's so easy for the women to find, I guess, another partner, di ba? So we're trying to prevent that essentially exactly with the use of these ED medications.
So what are these available medications and therapies now for?
Majority of the men will respond.
Correcting ED.
Yeah.
Yes.
Majority of them will respond to the PDE5 inhibitors. Ito na yung mga Viagra came in 1998. And then it was shown in about 80% of men. Whether you're diabetic, hypertensive, you have a psychological problem, they will respond in about 80% of the time.
80%.
80% of the time.
This is in the market already.
Definitely
But there are
in the market.
contraindications for that, right?
Contraindications, yes.
Which are?
You must have no nitrates. The only major contraindication is, well, your heart must be able to take it. If you are able, the general rule is if you're able to climb 2 flights of steps and walk for about 5 minutes without, panting and chest pains, etc., then you will be able to perform in sex, and therefore you can take the medicine and have no worry that you're going to drop dead when you
Right after you ejaculate.
drop dead during the act itself. So that was how it started na maraming namatay noon kasi even
Maraming
if they were
namatay
not fit,
noon?
Hindi
How
naman
citizen
namatay,
can
pero
die.
there was a bad publicity about the Viagra when it came out. Of course, it was not only Viagra, ang dami na mga generics ngayon that came along. And then there was Cialis, Tadalafil, and today, of course, the only advantage of Tadalafil or Cialis is that it has a long half-life. That means it can last. Ang Viagra kasi 4 hours lang. Ang Cialis or Tadalafil, 17.5 hours.
Wow.
It was touted.
How about the Levitra?
Levitra is only about 4 hours.
Oh.
So it's similar to the Viagra. Levitra. It's a good thing you remember that, Father.
I am a bioethicist.
Oh, no. You know
I
why?
teach sexuality. I teach marriage. I teach all of these things about sexuality.
Dr.
That's why I
Ed,
know
know.
those things.
yeah.
Yes.
But when you say 4 hours, you mean to say it is erect for
Is the
4
erection?
hours or what?
Its effect on the erection is for 4 hours.
So, you still
Let me
have to
remind
be
you,
aroused.
without the proper stimulation, the nitric oxide system, which is the basic in the erection, will not work. You have to have the right ambience, kailangan proper timing, proper environment, so that the system will work. If you drink the tablet and expect that it's going to pop, erection is going to come, no, it's not.
So it's not automatic.
Kailangan may proper stimulation. That's why the woman is also very important. Akala mo lalaki lang. The woman also has her part.
That's right. That's what I was about to say, that while the man should be able to start everything in that performance, the woman must be able to show that she is encouraged, that she is inspired, and that she likes it, and that she desires it, so that it will be complementariness. Actually, marriage
Exactly.
is complementariness between husband and wife. If there is
Absolutely.
none, and there is only one who is doing all the performance, well, a movie without the girl
Yeah.
is nothing. It's not a beautiful movie at all.
Yes.
And that's why earlier I said it's unfair for the man if
Right.
the woman would just be a passive
Oh, no,
receiver.
No.
So it should also be.
I stand corrected there. She has to participate.
Right.
She
In
has
that
to
she has to be
participate.
encouraging. Tama si Father.
I would like to ask Father, you know, the main purpose of marriage, di ba, Father, is to have children,
Right.
So after marriage, you know very well that these are already senior citizens and they still do it. Is that okay? Will that be?
What you mean? You take your medicine?
Yeah,
what do you
no
mean?
matter what. But
Still engage in
so
the
it
sexual
will, it
act.
is then sex for sex, right?
Well,
Is that
sexuality
in a
does
way?
not end. Your maleness or your femaleness does not end with age. And one of the indicators that in fact your maleness or femaleness, for that matter, still works is your sexual act. Okay?
so even if
So
it's
it
not
doesn't
intended to
end.
procreate children?
Even if you don't procreate, because after all, if marriage is for procreation or sexuality is for procreation, well, you have already procreated. It so happens that nature tells you that, well, it's high time that you cannot anymore produce, and you have to accept that. Nature has its own limitation. Okay? Now, if you try to force nature to do it, it might take its toll against you.
Eventually, you get
Heart
an abnormal
attack.
child.
Yes, pag menapit ang menopause.
Because you're
right?
forcing everything.
Yeah, that could be an issue, yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
Dr. Ed,
Yes.
do you still, do you do, as part of your job, no? Do you do reattaching organs, for example? Remember, sometimes it has happened also in the Philippine
a
scenario.
jealous wife.
No, yes, cuts off the penis or injures the penis of the male.
Yes, you can. Yes,
So
you can.
you
As
still-
long
how long does
what
it
the
take?
advice is, of course, as soon as the organ has been cut, to put it in ice so that it is preserved. And you
Okay.
can, reanastomose it within 6 to 8 hours, after which then it becomes a dead meat.
So you really have to go right away.
You
no?
have at once
To the hospital.
to the
right?
hospital and reanastomose it at once. You have to connect the arteries and veins, and that's good enough, but you'll have to use a big microscope, a really powerful microscope to be able to anastomose the artery. But it can be done.
We have
Yes.
here in the Philippine
Yes, of
setting
course.
this microscope.
Yes, because the
okay.
neurosurgeons, they do the microscope. We can,
Right.
you can borrow that.
Neurosurgeons.
So when it's attached back, it's as good as before?
No,
Not
It's-
all
it
the
will not
time.
perform as good as that. What happens is if it develops what we call a severe form of erectile dysfunction, wherein no stimulation, not even the sexiest lady will be able to bring it up, then you need to put a prosthesis. A prosthesis, similar to an arm prosthesis, a replacement. You actually insert it inside the penis, and with the touch of the button, it will inflate. And with the touch of another button, it will deflate.
Like an inflatable bed.
On command. But don't
At will,
don't laugh
at
at
will,
that.
yeah.
Because those things are darn expensive, like $10,000. And that's the
Wow.
reason why, yes. It's so expensive. In fact, recently at National Kidney Institute, one of the professors, Tom Louis, demonstrated on how it's being done. The only reason why Filipinos cannot avail of it is because it's so
It's
darn
too expensive.
Wala, sobrang mahal.
Right.
So those who can afford it will not want to have it done here. They'd rather go to the US because over here, as soon as you do this thing, you'll be the butt of jokes, and then the news is
Right.
going to spread like wildfire. And who can afford it? Of course, the rich and the famous.
Of course.
So for ED, there is no other remedy different from drugs and
Prosthesis.
prosthesis.
There is, of course, there is what we call the vacuum device. Well, of course, what I'd like to mention here is, of course, you have to change your lifestyle. You can still reverse a little bit of that. Well, if you're a smoker, stop smoking. If you're diabetic, you'll have to control your diabetes, start exercising. It's just like you're running a marathon or a competition. Your heart has to be strong, your body has to be able to take it. And then, of course, you'll have to alter, change your food. Hilig mo sa lechon, etc. And how can you expect that your performance will improve without shifting to the proper and healthy diet? And the last that the initially it was what they injected a vasodilating agent. They call it papaverine. Inject it into the penis. But of course, who would like to have a prick in your prick? That's how they call
Certainly
it.
not.
You inject something
many of us
with a
would
very
want
thin
that.
needle.
It should be done just right shortly
Right
before.
Right
or
before
Oh my
sexual
gosh.
intercourse.
So here you are, you're going to have sex, and you'll have to bring all this paraphernalia. So, wait a minute, dear, I'm just going to go to the toilet, inject yourself.
At least you can go to the toilet yet.
And you'll
Sarah,
have
you
an
have-
erection.
you
That's
have
what
a
you call a,
question.
but after that, now we can have a vacuum device. Over here, the female needs to help because there is a big bell, and then you apply it next on top of the penis, and then they suck the air out, of course. That will absorb, and then you have an engorged penis.
Yes.
And then there is a ring, rubber ring, that you place at the base of the penis.
Okay.
You know,
So that keeps the blood there.
Yeah, I asked Dr. Ed if you can bring some pictures, but he said, baka ma-X-rated tayo.
Exactly.
So
With
hindi
Father
na.
here, he's going to negate all of this. But of course, the only thing is, this thing is going to make your organ or your penis blue and black after 30 minutes. So you can only perform up to 30 minutes. And you have to remove the ring. Because this thing is going to die if you do not
Like,
remove the ring.
It's going to be, no,
Because it's going to be
strangled.
unoxygenated blood.
Strangled.
It's going to be
Okay.
strangled. It's as if you were strangling them. And if you don't remove it until the next morning, you're going to have your thing falling off into the side of the bed the next morning, like an eggplant, because it's going to be blue and black.
Oh, my.
So those are the
We
things
really
that you
need the advice of
advise.
the expert there
Oh,
when
well.
you do that.
Actually, it's
But it's just
common
logical that
sense.
you remove it
It's
after.
actually logical and common sense that they have to remove it after the sex.
Will there be pain? I mean, while using it?
No,
Because they're
none.
sort of
None.
strangulated.
But after some time, because of the unoxygenated blood, no
Right.
more oxygen coming in, then that's going to be painful. Remember, even if you ejaculate, it's not going to come down because it's being strangled by that ring, rubber ring. So that completes the entire paraphernalia of how you can have an erection. But the most common is, and of course, you must have heard about, there are so many other in the market
Supplements.
supplements that they advertise right and left. I do not want to mention anymore. The only thing that I advise those who are going to use it, you must have a good heart and that the system is not allergic to many, because these supplements that they advertise, that they use, may be helpful, but it can cause, sudden heart, severe tachycardia. That means sudden beating of the heart, and then some allergic reaction, and therefore you have to be careful.
You can die certainly from
You
those
not die,
reactions,
but
aren't really?
You can, suffer hypotension and severe headache and dizziness and nausea and all those.
And then you
things.
get rushed to
Family.
the hospital.
And then you get rushed to the hospital.
Scandalous.
And you wanted to ask a question.
Dr. Ed, earlier you kept emphasizing that this medication is prescribed in a context of a heterosexual relationship.
Yes.
Why is that? Is there a difference or is there a prohibition?
None.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. But being a doctor, we always like to have the highest part of ethics in our practice, and therefore we never prescribe it for any recreational purpose. So that means for all the young men, I know, because if you're a young man, you're a father, 25-year-old, you like to satisfy, you're going to have a date of 3 women, and then you like to be the star of the show. You like to perform here and there and there. And therefore, that's a recreational purpose. Father, what do you say to
Of
that?
course.
Okay, excuse me, Dr. Ed and Patricia, we'll have to take another commercial break.
Okay.
We'll be right back after a few words from our sponsors.
comes out of my mouth, especially in such a place where anything can spread like wildfire.
Imagine it when you share something to a public, you find that experience, and that experience so rich it could change other people. Okay?